Have you ever wondered if this universe, the one you see when you look at the stars, is the only one? What if there are countless other universes, each with their own unique rules, histories, and even versions of you? This idea, known as the multiverse, isn't just a fantasy for sci-fi movies. It's a real concept that many scientists, philosophers, and even mathematicians have studied. Today, we'll explore the multiverse together. Don't worry, it's not as complicated as it might sound. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear understanding of the different ways people think multiple universes might exist. And if this idea captures your imagination, we can always explore it further in future videos. Let's begin with something small, tiny even. We're talking about the quantum world, where the rules of physics get very strange. In the world of particles, things don't behave the way we're used to. Imagine flipping a coin. In our everyday world, it lands either heads or tails. But in quantum mechanics, the coin could be both heads and tails at the same time, at least until you look at it. This bizarre behavior is called superposition. Back in 1957, physicist Hugh Everett suggested an idea to explain this. Every time there's a choice like heads or tails, the universe splits. One version of the universe chooses heads, and another chooses tails. This is called the many worlds interpretation. So, what does this mean for you? It suggests that there could be endless versions of reality. Somewhere out there, another version of you made a different choice this morning. Maybe they wore a different outfit, skipped breakfast, or didn't watch this video. Every possibility creates a new branch of reality. While this idea is fascinating, it's also hard to prove. For now, it's one of those what-if questions that sparks endless curiosity. Next, let's zoom out and think about the universe itself. How did everything we know come to be? Scientists believe that about 13.8 billion years ago, our universe began with the Big Bang. This massive explosion created space, time, and everything in it, stars, planets, and galaxies. But some scientists, like Alan Guth, believe the Big Bang wasn't a unique event. After the Big Bang, there was a brief moment of incredibly fast expansion, known as inflation. During this time, space itself stretched out at unimaginable speeds. While our universe eventually slowed down and formed galaxies, other parts of space might still be inflating. Imagine blowing bubbles. Each bubble represents a universe, including ours. These bubble universes could be floating in a vast cosmic foam. And here's the fascinating part. Each bubble might have its own unique laws of physics. In one universe, gravity might be weaker, making it impossible for stars to form. In another, the speed of light might be different. Our bubble happens to have the right conditions for life, but in the multiverse, there could be endless other bubbles with completely different realities. Now let's dive into something even more abstract. String theory. This is a way of looking at the universe that says everything is made up of tiny, vibrating strings. These strings are incredibly small, so small that we can't see them even with the most powerful microscopes. But what makes string theory so fascinating is that it suggests the universe isn't just three-dimensional. There could be up to 11 dimensions. Here's where things get interesting. Our universe might be like a three-dimensional sheet, or brain, floating in a higher dimensional space. Think of it like a page in a book, with other pages nearby. Each page is its own universe, and these universes might sometimes interact. In fact, some scientists think collisions between these brains could create events like the Big Bang. This idea gives us a new way to think about the multiverse, not as separate bubbles, but as layers of reality stacked next to each other. Speaking of abstract ideas, let's talk about math. Physicist Max Tegmark has a bold proposal. The universe isn't just described by math, it is math. In his view, every possible mathematical structure exists as its own universe. Think of it like a giant cosmic library. Each book in the library represents a different reality, with its own set of rules and possibilities. Our universe is just one book on the shelf. Somewhere in this library, There could be universes where 2 plus 2 doesn't equal 4, or where time moves backward instead of forward. This mathematical multiverse is a wild idea, but it raises an important question. Is our universe special, or just one possibility among infinite others? Now let's move on to an idea that's been popularized by movies and pop culture, the simulation hypothesis. Imagine living inside a super advanced video game. Everything you see, touch, and experience is part of the game, controlled by someone, or something, outside of it. Philosopher Nick Bostrom argues that if advanced civilizations could create realistic simulations, they might create billions of them. In that case, there would be far more simulated universes than real ones. This means it's statistically more likely we're living in a simulation than in the base reality. While there's no proof we're in a simulation, the idea challenges us to think about reality in new ways. If it's true, it would mean our universe isn't the highest level of reality, there's something beyond it. Finally, let's talk about the universe we can see, or rather, what we can't see. The universe is incredibly vast, but we can only observe a small part of it. Light from distant galaxies takes billions of years to reach us, which means we're only seeing a tiny slice of the whole picture. If space is infinite, then far beyond what we can see, there could be regions that are effectively their own universes. These regions might have different histories, or they might be exact copies of ours. Imagine another Earth with another version of you living a life identical to yours, or maybe one where everything is slightly different. These island universes aren't separate from ours in the same way as other multiverse ideas, but they're so far away that they might as well be. Why does the multiverse matter? Talking about the multiverse isn't just fun, it also changes how we think about reality. If there are infinite universes, what does that say about us? Are we unique, or are we just one possibility among countless others? For now, the multiverse remains a mix of science, philosophy, and imagination. But it's a fascinating way to remind ourselves how much we still have to learn. If this topic has piqued your curiosity, let me know in the comments. We could explore some of these ideas in more detail in future videos, but only if it's something you're interested in. After all, there's no shortage of big questions to tackle. Thanks for watching, and I hope this has given you a new perspective on the universe, or maybe the multiverse.